Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another episode. And I got another viewer slash podcast listener question here that someone emailed in. And it's a very relevant question here, 2019, 2020, 2021, looking at the outlook of clinical research. So this person emails in, and by the way, if you guys have any questions that you want answered, or you have a personal situation or something like that and you want my take on it, feel free to email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. So this person writes in, I have a few questions about clinical research. Is the field still in demand? How can I get my foot in the door? And what is the average salary for clinical coordinator in clinical trials? I have a diploma as a LVN/LPN. Thanks. So they also mentioned that they need materials to study for clinical research. So if you guys are in the need of any type of materials, I'm thinking about putting together, some things like that. But also just go look at old episodes and old YouTube videos. Tons of content out there. I was looking at my catalog today. There's over 330 videos that I've uploaded to the Elite Clinical Research YouTube channel. So that's a good place to start. And if you're listening on the podcast, tons of episodes there too. So, link in the description if you're looking for where those are housed. But to answer this person's question, is the field still in demand? Absolutely, the field is still in demand. Pretty much the entire time I've been in clinical research, it's been in high demand, and it's still in demand here, almost 2020. And I think it will be for a long time. I mean, forever, if you just think about it. There is need for new drugs. There are constant breakthroughs in the science. There are constant breakthroughs in formulations. There's new talent coming in and out of the clinical research space all the time. So it's always going to be in demand. Health is one of those things that there's always going to be type of things that are plaguing us as a society and as the human race. So yeah, it's always going to be in demand for as far as I can see. Clinical research associate is still a position that a lot of people want. And, that's probably one of the most in demand jobs that you could have in clinical research. And I've talked a lot about that on my channel. So you guys can go look at that if you're interested in more information about clinical research associate. And then this person asks, how do I get my foot in the door? So, this is a question I've touched on a lot on the channel too, but this is one of those things that, year in and year out might change and different strategies might change, but a lot of the things are tried and true. So I recommend you apply, shoot for 200 jobs, and that should give you a few chances to interview. If you need help with your resume when applying, you can email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. We offer resume review services, so I would definitely recommend that. If you need help interviewing, we also offer interview prep. So I would strongly recommend that, because a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot in the interview and don't really know how to explain their past experience and how it can be helpful in the clinical research industry. So I would definitely consider reaching out for interview preparation. And we also do LinkedIn profile reviews also, which, if your LinkedIn profile is not great, you're going to be applying to a lot of jobs. You're going to be adding a lot of people on LinkedIn, potentially asking for advice, and definitely asking to apply to recruiters' jobs on LinkedIn. So you will want a pretty good LinkedIn profile. So there's that also. But that's how you get in the industry. That's how you get your foot in the door. It's not complicated. It's just a lot of hard work. It's almost like a full job in and of itself. To apply, interview, do recruiter screens, all that stuff. So that's what I would do. Apply to 200 jobs. So look on Glassdoor, Monster, Indeed, and LinkedIn for jobs. Indeed's probably my favorite. Second of those is probably going to be LinkedIn. One of my guests recently, one of my guests on the podcast and I interviewed as a CRA, brought up a great point with LinkedIn. Don't just look on the jobs tab. Ask recruiters to join your network, and they oftentimes make posts that aren't going to show up on the jobs tab. They're posting saying, hey, do you know anyone interested in let's say clinical trial assistant positions? So that's something great that you guys should look into when on LinkedIn. Don't just look for jobs, look under people's posts, and you'll see a lot of them listed that way too. Then the third part of the question is average salary for clinical coordinator of clinical trials. This is going to vary state by state depending on where you're located in the United States. if you're located in the South somewhere, let's say like Florida, your salary could be lower than if you're living in, Manhattan, New York City. But I say anywhere from, 35,000 to 55,000 for entry level. Pretty broad range, but you're most likely going to land somewhere in the 40s, low 40s as an entry level clinical research coordinator if you're working full time. But coordinators go up from there. I mean, clinical coordinators are worth their weight in gold, as been said. They run the entire study. They're the ones meeting with patients. They're the ones following up with the PI to sign lab data and to sign delegation log and all this stuff. That's them. It's not the PI. The PI is just there to make sure the patient is safe and to administer the drug or device or whatever. But it's the coordinator running everything. So coordinators do very well, and especially if you like that position, it's a very good foundational role. It's a very good way to get your start in clinical research and then build up from there, whether you want to be a CRA, whether you want to be a project manager, project director, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a good place to start. And that's pretty much it for this question. I mean, he said he have an LVN/LPN. I'm assuming that's some kind of nurse. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but most people that are nurses end up being coordinators. Well, let me say that. A lot of coordinators are nurses before they become coordinators. There we go. So not all surprising there. And a lot of sites love hiring nurses as coordinators because they're great with patients. So that's one of the big parts of your job as a coordinator. So hope this helps. As always, guys, reach out if you're interested in any type of resume review or interview prep. eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. Take care, guys.